It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Tervis is all about staying hydrated with style and durability. You can trust Tervis tumblers to keep your drinks the perfect temperature, hot or cold, for hours. From the classic insulated tumblers to sleek stainless steel water bottles, each product is built to last and comes in endless designs to match your personality. Stay refreshed and express yourself with Tervis. Visit tervis.com today and find your perfect tumbler.
Since our founding, we've been revolutionizing hair removal with cutting-edge technology and a commitment to empowerment. The U-Like Air 3, launched in 2023, ushers in a new era of sapphire ice cooling technology, offering nearly painless hair reduction in just 3 weeks. Experience the future of hair removal today at ulike.com, because at U-Like, beauty is about looking and feeling good. That's ulike.com. U-Like. With Ease US, make studio-quality voiceovers for your videos online in over 149 languages and dialects, featuring 468 natural AI voices. Customize the volume, mood, and pauses to perfectly match your content. Plus, capture high-quality videos with no watermark. Record your screen, webcam, and voice, and save them instantly to your computer. Never been easier to create professional-grade videos and voiceovers. Try it today at easeus.com. That's EASEUS.com. Ease US.
Just use AMP-Pace.
AMP-Pace.
It is the Pete Sousa Show. We are live. We're in the Alico building. I used to call it the Rogue Media Alico building. And it might as well be, because this is where the whole thing, the kit and caboodle, is based out of. Thanks for joining us today. So much to get to. I just am racing over here after filming Inside the 12, which you can see on HBO Max, you can see on True TV, and in all your Big 12 markets and on the Big 12's YouTube page. Pete Sousa Show, however, let's get comfortable here, huh? The Pete Sousa Show is presented by Slovakics, Crawford Austin Properties, First National Bank of Central Texas. We will have the guy responsible for all of the First National Bank of Central Texas messaging, marketing, and things beyond. Dan Ingham is going to be with us today. We're going to talk college football. And we're also going to talk a little bit about, First National Bank of Central Texas. Their sponsorship with us means a ton. Of course, again, can't forget about Slovacek's, Crawford Austin Properties, Socorro Family Ford. Big guest today to start things off. As I mentioned, I just am running over here from the studio taping the Big 12 show. The great Craig James from the Pony Express, and of course, successful NFL career with the New England Patriots. There he is, Craig.
Hey.
Also, of course, you know him as a football analyst, and just an all-around great dude. Craig, what's happening, man?
Man, Pete, good morning, man. Thanks for having me.
It's great. It's great to have you. Now, we go back. You may forget, I was one of Gary Horton's cronies. So we would work with you guys at the NFL Today, and you were so nice to me.
No, Pete, dang, man, when you said that, it clicked because I was like, Pete, now how do I know Pete? But I can't put it all together. You and Gary Horton, those are great CBS days.
They were great CBS days. I got to watch the Miracle, the Music City Miracle with you. We watched it at the ESPN Zone in New York City. And Jay Glazer was being a jerk to me. He kept talking about hitting on my girlfriend. You were like, hey, take it easy, pal.
You remember Glazer used to get mad at me because I would never use any of his material. He'd give us all this inside stuff, and I never used it. He goes, why don't you use my stuff? I said, because I don't know that you know what you're talking about.
Well, dude, when it comes to Baylor and SMU, you know exactly what you're talking about. I was looking at some of your numbers prior to this. I mean, Baylor's just got to be happy you're not playing. You averaged about 100 yards a clip against some really good Grant Taft teams. And this rivalry being renewed on Saturday, going to be at SMU. Can you take people into this rivalry, what it was like in your Southwest Conference playing days?
Of course, back then, Pete, the Southwest Conference was the conference in the country. It was all the great players in this area, the state, they stayed around. We went to Baylor or Tech or A&M, Texas, and so they weren't spread out all over the country. So you had a lot of really good football players. And for Baylor and SMU, there was just this natural, I don't know if it was the religious schools or what it was, but they were really good in football, first of all. So we knew we had a challenge on our hands. And so the competitiveness, the familiarity of it, all of the fans, they were great games, hard-hitting games. Mike Singletary was there the first 2 years we played against him. Thank goodness he moved on and graduated. That guy was a beast on the field. We used to be in the huddle, Pete, and truly, he was known, he would hyperventilate. He'd get so amped up in a game. So we're in the huddle one time, my freshman year, I think it is, and I see him go off the field. He had to go get his wind back. And then all of us in the huddle, only time in my history of playing football, we all said, 11 of us, hey, he's off the field.
And then you got to bump into him in the Super Bowl as well. So you couldn't dodge the guy.
He was he was relentless and a great player, especially tackle to tackle. You know, you get outside the box, and that wasn't his specialty, but he was smart, tenacious, and he was old school.
What are some of your memories of that rivalry? Any specific memory you have? I mean, you mentioned that one, which was awesome, but on the field playing, because you did. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke. You had some really quality performances against Baylor, tackle to tackle.
Yeah, it was a physical game, and Eric and I, we knew when we played against Baylor that we were going to have to both do our thing. And many times on the sidelines, we'd come off the field against other opponents, and we'd say, they're tired. We've got them beat down. And around the third quarter, and we start taking over. But against Baylor, they had depth as well as we had depth, and they were really good, well coached. And there was this natural competitiveness between us. And we thought we were better than them. They thought they were better than us. And so the stories in that game, I mean, the hard hits, man, they had some real. Eric hit one of their defensive backs one time so hard. I don't even know how the guy made it to the sidelines, but he went to the sidelines, and it just was a really competitive game.
When you and Eric were playing, obviously Eric Dickerson, and you guys were the Pony Express, and SMU is just hitting on all cylinders, right? What was the aura like around that offense, around that team? I mean, I remember just being a little older, but a lot of people don't. There was something really slick and magical about those teams.
So this is what, trying to put it within context, it's 40 years ago that happened. generally. And so, yeah, for us in 1979, when we went to SMU, Eric and I went because of Ron Meyer, the head coach, and his great enthusiasm. We wanted to be a part of something that was going to be big. He swore to us, we're going to win, fellas. By God, we're going to get it done. Ron Meyer he out recruited all the Baylors and the Texas and Arkansas, USC's, Oklahoma's, Alabama's, because we had the city of Dallas. Dallas at that time was happening as it is today. It's just a vibrant city. So as a young 18-year-old, when you come to the campus of SMU, it's beautiful, and you get that vibe of the city of Dallas, it was a natural draw. We're seeing that today in the ACC. Now, if you're a player and have been a high school star in the state of Texas, you don't have to go to another conference or another state. You can stay here in Dallas if you want to, play for the Mustangs and play in a major conference.
Yeah, Craig, it's pretty cool when you kind of take a step back and you look at, okay, who is equipped to do well in this NIL era, and the salary cap situation we're sort of moving into next year. SMU really is equipped. I mean, they are really equipped to have a successful run, and you guys are ahead of schedule because it started last year. First question I guess I want to ask you is, how do you feel about the current team, Rhett Lashley, Kevin Jennings, coming back off of a college football playoff appearance?
Well, I want to touch on that first comment there. I mean, our arrogance, we act like we're the only ones with billionaires. Baylor has them, Texas Tech has them, they're all over the place. So everybody's got money. It's just a matter of whether or not that money wants to invest into the university. Okay, we saw what RG3 did and meant for Baylor. So if you get the players and you win, you bring in the students, they want to come, and it just feeds off itself. As for last year's success, I think it was the knock on the door unexpectedly by SMU to get into the playoffs. And we won the games we should have won. It was a weaker conference last year. We had 3 bye weeks. The stars lined up. We had a great defense, especially the defensive line. 2 deep defensive line that made everybody really good. We stumbled into having a great running back in Brashard Smith, ran for over 1,000 yards. Rhett Lashley knows how to put the puzzle together, and he did that last year. Now, like all these other schools, you've got 40, 50, in Belichick's case, 70 new players who walk into a locker room. This team has star players. Other teams have star players, but this remains a team sport. Pete, the same sport that you and I covered 20, 30, 40 years ago is the sport today. You have to run, you have to tackle, you have to block. And if you can't do those things and do them together, you will not win. So I think the jury is still out for us. We played a team that we were supposed to beat by 30 or 40 points. Baylor played a team that was 50-50 and played right there with them. And Auburn's a good football team. I think Baylor knows more about their team today than SMU knows about their team.
I'd love to get some of your analysis just a little deeper on that, because you touch on a really amazing point. I'm calling a UCF game on Saturday. 58 new guys for Scott Frost. It's just the way it is now around college football. Can you give people an idea how hard that is just to stick that in a microwave and try to make it gel? Some guys don't even make spring ball.
No. Well, okay. So in 2023, Rhett's first year at SMU, he invited me to come to practices. And so I started driving. I'm about an hour drive down to SMU's campus from where I live. And I started going 6:30 in the morning. I was there. And then one practice led to another. I didn't miss many practices. I went to the team meetings. I got to know the ball club. I got to know the personality of this new culture. And it's a different thing. So when you're bringing that many new guys together, some are going to like the message from the head coach and others won't. After about week 3, the ones who have been competing for a starting job and they weren't going to get that job, now they're worried about not burning a year, and they're looking to transfer. So now you got to try to keep your depth motivated, an extremely hard task to be a head football coach. That's why last year when Dave Aranda's team, the way they finished, showed me and said to me, man, they like that guy because you can't turn things around and finish as strong as they did if you don't like the head coach. You'd be wanting him gone. And so it's just a new era of college football. DeBoer, I heard him talking about his Alabama team in his press conference. And he made the comment, he goes, hey, look, I know more about my team this year than I did last year because I've been here for a year. And I know how to communicate with them better today than last year. So after that very frustrating, embarrassing loss to Florida State, he now knows better how to communicate with them to motivate them to get ready for the rest of the season.
It's pretty cool to see these conferences match up against each other. You mentioned Kalen DeBoer. The Florida State upset, I thought, was huge for the ACC, if you're going to look at conferences. Ultimately, big for SMU. Conversely, Baylor's loss to Auburn. We'll see what that looks like as we see how Auburn does, but it doesn't look great to start the season off. What do you make of that? Like this Big 12 opponent taking on an ACC opponent this week. There's a lot of conference stuff behind this now. What do you make of those matchups when ACC, Big 12?
Yeah, that's a good observation. I think it's a good parallel because truly the Big 10 and the SEC, they're going to measure against themselves. And it is now who's number 3, who's number 4. Is it the ACC or the Big 12? I think they're about the same, and they are fighting for public recognition. And at the end of the year, last year with SMU getting that bid over Alabama, we won't get the nod this year. I mean, that selection committee will grade us much tougher than they did last season. So I think these kind of games, beyond just the natural Baylor and SMU vibe, there really is the conference deal that takes place. And losing to Auburn on the record at the end of the season won't be as big a blemish as you would think.
Yeah, you mentioned Baylor and their loss to Auburn. What do you think about that team, Baylor's team right now, coming into this game against SMU? If you've had a chance to watch them, you mentioned their finish last year, but just your overall thoughts about this team coming off that loss against Auburn. By the way, Craig, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. That's a big problem for them.
Yeah, it really is, and they've got to stop that. Now, but then again, can SMU take advantage of the things that Auburn was able to do against Baylor? Can SMU do that? I think SMU's offensive line last season was a complete unknown. They had 5 good players, but they didn't know the slots to put them in. This year, entering the season, they had 4 of the 5 identified. They had the 5 players identified, so I think they're trying to start from a better position there. We're still a running back by committee. We don't know who our guy is. We had 3 guys that carried the ball roughly 9 times each, and they looked okay. But in my mind, when you're playing against Baylor, unless you're Barry Sanders, and we don't have Barry Sanders, you got to run past tacklers. Brashard Smith last year ran past the tackler. He made the offensive line look good until the offensive line got confidence and became good. So I look at Baylor. Baylor's a talented team. They're a physical team, and I think they got punched in the mouth a little bit. And I think it's up to Aranda to coach him up, and for the players to respond and try to stop the run and do what they need to do.
Couple more questions, and then I want to ask you about the Pony Express Award, and I'll let you get back to your busy life. But just philosophically about football, week 1 you watch, there's a lot of missed tackles. Do you attribute that to the lack of contact in camp? Not that there should be a ton of contact in camp, but it just seems like, for lack of a better word, there was some sloppy play out there. I feel like the tackling is an art form that at least doesn't develop till week 4 or 5 now. Is that something you noticed too?
Yeah, and I think some of that could be attributed to the fact that these coaches take it easy on their guys. They're afraid of losing someone, maybe. I remember after the first year of Rhett Lashley being there, my comment was, in spring football, if you do anything but inside drill, 9-on-7, you're making a mistake. We had to get better at tackling. And tackling is something you got to work on. You have to do it. You got to have the desire to want to tackle. There was a guy named Mickey Andrews, was a Florida State defensive coordinator under Bobby Bowden for years when they won all those national championships. I watched a lot of game film with that guy and listened to him coach his players. One of the brilliant minds of all time in college. And man, you got to bring your legs. You got to want to bring your body. You got to know where to be. And so it's something. The players are talented enough at Baylor and SMU to make a tackle. Okay. North Carolina had talented players out there capable of making a tackle. Man, those guys, I could have run my old 64-year-old body. I think I could have run against them the other night. So I just think it's an art that has to be worked on, and the only way to work on it is to do it.
I have to ask you this question because I have you. Bill Belichick, your thoughts on that blowout loss to TCU. I heard Wes Durham saying this morning that he had heard quite possibly that Sonny Dykes may be called off the Dogs. I mean, that was getting pretty ugly. Is that just a first game situation where Bill Belichick is building a program at North Carolina, or is there something more there?
Well, if we have to recognize that he has 70 new players. I mean, I don't think anybody else is having to deal with that. He did, so he hasn't had them very long. But to me, I'm looking at it the big picture. The thing that made the New England Patriots so good was the single focus of that football team. There were no distractions. There were no girlfriends. There were no Michael Jordans there. LT is there. All these former great. There was none of that. It was football. And that in Foxborough, when I played for the Patriots, we had one blinking red light when I went to practice. It was easy. I didn't get distracted. And I feel like the North Carolina players with all of the Belichick storyline, and he's just much more out there. And I think that's something, man. Rein it in. You got to play. He's got players, and now they got to get tough and on those players to make them play.
All right, so give me a little background and tell us about the Pony Express Award. It's something I'm fascinated by, and it gets me excited.
Well, Eric and I created the Pony Express Award to recognize the nation's top tandem. That can be two corners, it can be two linebackers, it can be safety in a corner, it can be a wide receiver and a quarterback, two tight ends. And so Eric and I, we really want to recognize the success of a tandem working together to help themselves be better as well as the team to be better. The Pony Express Award, I have a faith. Eric has a faith. We're brothers in Christ. We've been good friends since the beginning. So nearly 50 years, the foundation of our Christ brotherhood has kept us together. And so by being able to create this award, it's something that recognizes teamwork. This is in a me era. It's great to have a we award, and it's voted on by the players, which is really unique. When I was voted into the Pro Bowl in the NFL, I knew it came from my peers, voted on by them. That meant a lot to me. And so having the players as a part of that process is really important to Eric and I.
How about that relationship for real? Like 50 years, pretty much, we're talking here. And that speaks to football and the bond and the brotherhood, and you share it in faith too now. That is real cool stuff.
Yeah, man. You know what? It's unique. And Eric and I, we hit it off from the day we met when we were seniors in high school, 18 years old. He had a big old fro. He was at the car wash with that gold Trans Am in Sealy, Texas, washing it. And I pulled up, and man, we just bonded. We came together as friends, and we pushed each other in college. It was competitive. You went to practice every day competing for your carries, and that made us both better, saved us carries for our NFL career, and the friendship. Eric and I were never jealous of each other. It was always he was pulling for me and me for him because we wanted to be successful. We wanted to win. I saw a stat somewhere. I think somewhere our last couple of years we were 21-1-1, and I mean, we wanted to win, and we knew that by both of us having success, it gave us the best chance to be successful.
Last question for you, SMU. Can they sustain success there? Because I think they can. I think if they choose to invest, right, that money you're talking about, or we were just talking about, they could sustain success there, Craig. And that's something we have not seen yet.
Pete, when Eric and I got to the NFL, in the Rams locker room and in my Patriots locker room, so many of the players came up and said, man, we wanted to go to SMU. Man, we wanted to play for the Ponies. We wanted to play in Dallas. And I think that's the sustaining part. And you've got a great education. Every school has life after ball, and every school has great education if you put your mind to it. Dallas is a city that it's booming, it's growing, it's vibrant. So to be able to sustain, I do think it's there, Pete. I think it's a chance for Rhett to have a long career, a successful career. I think he's the right guy. Rhett loves the Lord. He and his wife are awesome leaders and examples for that whole campus. And I think it's really good for college football if SMU and the city of Dallas are someplace that's vibrant that other schools want to come to and play and have success.
Craig James, legendary SMU football player, of course, football legend overall. Really cool to link back up with you, Craig, and for you to share time with us means a lot.
Oh, Pete, man, hey, anytime. I'd love to come on with you. Can't believe we did get to link up again. The PonyExpressAward.com is our website. The PonyExpressAward.com, and man, we look forward to seeing who wins this year. I'm happy for you, Pete. It's great to see you. And sick 'em Bears and go Mustangs.
All right, we'll put that website stuff after we clip this and put it up on YouTube. Make sure it gets out there so people know. Craig James, thank you so much.
You got it, my friend. Thank
How about that? Craig James, blast from the past for me in two regards. One, I was working for him and a bunch of those guys at the NFL Today. He was always the best guy. Like, people ask, like, hey, what was that person like when you were at the very bottom, right? And they were at the top. Yeah, Craig James is the real deal. One of the better guys out there on and off the field. Cannot wait, by the way, for Saturday's game. Baylor, a 3-point underdog. So there's a lot to get excited about. We're going to step aside, take a break. We'll come back, talk Big 12. It's top of mind for me. I just finished up doing Inside the 12, and then we're going to welcome Dan Ingham. Dan's going to come by in a little bit to talk about First National Bank of Central Texas, our partnership with them, and, of course, give us a couple picks. The Pizza.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. That's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
I don't know, if Bubble wasn't here, I don't know what people would be doing, like making PowerPoints or something. Bubble allows you to make it real and for it to actually work. So I feel like Bubble bridges that gap and being able to give people the opportunity to make their ideas come to life really quickly too. I love that I can sit down and build something the way that I think it should be built and have the control over it.
Bubble turns ideas into fully scalable apps. Try Bubble today.
Hi, I'm Jo from Face Theory. You're going to want to have a specific goal for your skincare routine. What do you want to achieve? Active ingredients are really strong, and if you're using too many at once, your skin can get overwhelmed. Don't overspend on products. Choose products that have scientific research behind them. At Face Theory, if you're not happy with a product, just say so, just give us a shout and we'll give you your money back, no problem.
I know you're gonna love this Kodak Dot Plus printer. You guys just connect it to your smartphone and then you're gonna use the Kodak Photo Print app. It's going to print you a 4x6 photo. I am just in awe. I love how these turned out. Also, the printer comes with a free cartridge of 10 photo sheets. I can assure you, you are going to love this printer as much as my family has. You guys have to check it out for yourself.
Streamline event and appointment booking with Amelia's sleek, modern, and fully customizable booking forms. Tailor the colors, fonts, and design to match your brand and seamlessly integrate with your WordPress website. Whether it's for events or appointments, Amelia makes booking simple, stylish, and perfectly aligned with your business. Enhance your booking experience today at WPAmelia.com. That's WPAMELIA.com. Amelia.
When you learn a language with Babbel, you start a journey that takes you further and further. Anytime and anywhere you wish. It's easy and fun. Broadens your horizons and keeps your brain fit. A journey into new thoughts, new cultures, new adventures. So what are you waiting for? Start your journey with Babbel now. Go to babbel.com or download the app.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry for its dedication to helping individuals with bad credit secure loans. By making timely repayments, borrowers can gradually repair their credit history, thereby increasing their chances of securing better loan terms in the future. BadCreditLoans.com serves as a beacon of hope for those with bad credit. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
the Pete Sousa Show. We are back here presented by Slovacics. Talk some football, college football right now. After we talked some college football with Craig James, I thought one of the coolest parts about that conversation is to learn about or be reminded, I guess, about him and Eric Dickerson and their relationship and the fact that, you know, some 40, 50 years later, they're still like super tight to the point where they're doing a Pony Express award. And those were two guys, again, for me growing up, like I was a little young for the Pony Express, but not really. I mean, I remembered that there was this dominant football team in Texas that was overwhelming opponents, and they were doing it to the tune of like 50, 60-point blowouts, and they were one of the best teams in all of college football. But then even someone like me, through, you know, national news reports, you started to catch wind that like, hey, something wasn't exactly all that right with how they were getting some of these players. And hey, that's how they do it now everywhere. And you know, there was an investigation, and really the person who broke the whole story open was Dale Hansen, sports guy in Dallas forever, right? Hall of Fame sports guy. And, you know, there was a player from Pittsburgh who had gotten screwed over just enough by SMU, or at least he felt like he was, that he went public. And he did this interview with Dale Hansen, and it was very clear that there was like a payroll at SMU. And, you know, there was that stuff was going on at schools all over the country. I don't think anybody was as good as SMU was at it. And I think what Craig said had a big part in it as well. You know, Ron Meyer was an amazing coach. Dallas was happening. And, you know, it was the perfect storm. But the fact that SMU was, you know, the NCAA put a bomb underneath that program and detonated it in like 1987, 88. And, you know, to see them back in the college football playoff last year and with the opportunity to sustain greatness is pretty exciting. I want to bring Swingler in here real quick. Scotty, Scotty's got like the blue. You got like you're in the blue zone over there. You look good.
Yeah, as you said, people are always touching our cameras in here, Pete. I didn't know I was going to look like a Smurf today. But
hey, Papa Smurf, if you're going to be a Smurf at all. I want to see what you thought about. He was kind of had some nice stuff to say about Baylor. And from what I understood, Craig James just told us that Baylor's going to be just fine. That's what I got.
Sounded like it. Yeah. Sounds like he's a believer in Dave Aranda. I was surprised to get a sick'em from him at the end of that call. That I will clip that and maybe use that in some kind of hype video this week. Maybe don't
turn it against him now. God forbid that goes viral. And then Craig's like, what the hell? Wait, what's going on?
He said it, man. No, yeah. I won't do that too, because we need to get him back later this season. But yeah, that was fantastic. It's obvious he's still very invested in the game, and it's good to see. Sometimes I feel like guys like that who spent their life around football, when they stop broadcasting, they take a step away.
Yeah.
And I know it's been a minute since he was a broadcaster, but it's good to see him still clearly plugged into the pulse of what's going on. Yeah.
Well, and dude, this is the thing about Craig. Like when I was working so it was me, Todd McShay, and we were working for Gary Horton. And, you know, Gary was the best, but we would go over to the NFL Today and we would give notes to Jerry Glanville, to obviously Craig James, to Mike Ditka was there. And, you know, some of those guys were like, whatever. Like Jay Glazer was nice, but he was a prick. Like he would break your balls way too much. I remember.
So the same as he is today.
I specifically remember him. So I had a girlfriend. She was a blonde. We were in love. We thought we were getting married and all that stuff. And he basically was like, hey, I think like you're very pretty. Like, would you want to ever be a model? Like she lived in Pennsylvania. He's like, you could live in New York. And Craig James and Randy Cross were the two guys. Like we talked about with Craig this morning. They were like, hey, Jay, sorry. Like Jay forgot to take his asshole pills this morning. Like just totally ignore him. They were both really good guys. And to see Craig James again today and to be reminded, honestly, like you talked about, he was one of the best college football analysts and NFL analysts for some time. I mean, he was on the NFL Today for CBS for many years. He had a broadcasting school as well. I remember that, the Craig James Broadcasting School. Yeah, Craig's the man, but I appreciated what he said about Dave Aranda and the players liking him. What did you pick up on that? Like, do you buy that?
Yeah, I buy that. I buy that not only because of the recovery last season, which is what he referenced, but also because of the recruiting class that's currently slated to come in next year. That 2026 recruiting class, we've talked about it, is shaping up to be maybe Baylor's best ever. So that all speaks well to Dave Aranda. I still need to see us win some football games, Pete. If we lose half these recruits because we go 6-6, I'm not going to be very happy.
Win some. You're 0-1 against an SEC team.
Listen,
I thought he did a great.
Listen, I've said all week the whole season is still in front of Baylor. We did not play the way I thought we were capable of playing last week, and that is on the head coach largely. It is.
But you did hear what he said.
Yep.
Like that was a great point. You know, Baylor probably knows more about themselves today than SMU knows.
Oh, I think it's a huge advantage for Baylor in this game that Baylor played a real opponent and that SMU played kind of sloppy against East Texas A&M. I think that's a tremendous first quarter advantage for Baylor in Dallas on Saturday. Yeah, because Baylor's not going to be surprised by anything SMU trots out, whereas SMU might get hit those first couple drives and go, oh yeah, this is what Power 5 football feels, Power 4 football feels like. So I agree with him completely on that.
What kind of response did you get from Please Bear With Me so far? Like what are people? You guys had some hot takes on there.
Man, people are tense. People are concerned. It was a tough way to watch your team lose. Jackson Arnold playing like Kyler Murray was not encouraging for our defense. So huge chance to turn it around. Kevin Jennings, arguably better. Arguably similar to Jackson
I didn't
Arnold,
even
but
think
better.
of that, dude. I probably should have already, but that's like, boy, well, maybe that'll force them to figure it out.
They're very similar players. It's dual threat guys who can definitely throw the ball. Like when we say dual threat, they're not run only threats. They can definitely throw the ball, but both are prone to turn the ball over if you can make them get off balance a little bit. Baylor was never able to get Jackson Arnold off his spot. And when they did, he kind of made it look effortless to get out of the pocket and gain big yards, right? Got to figure out how to get Kevin Jennings off his spot. He turned the ball over twice last week against East Texas A&M. And I'm not hating on East Texas A&M, but no excuse for a playoff quarterback to turn the ball over 2 times against that level of an opponent. So Baylor's got to take advantage of that and force some turnovers.
Are you still calling this a must win?
Yes. Wow. You cannot lose your only 2 non-conference games against good opponents. That will not help you later.
Well, what about Kansas State? I mean, they
what about Kansas State?
But they saved their season with that win. I mean, if they had lost that game, they would have been. There's no coming back from that.
Well, that's true, and they looked horrible, man. Like they've got some questions to answer up there in Manhattan before they come to work.
All right, here comes the Avery Johnson.
I didn't say a word about Avery Johnson. You brought up Avery Johnson.
One person we're talking
Most
about right
overrated
now
player in the United States of America
is, I mean, when you can get a guy who's taller than me, right? A handsome guy like that. This in the studio, like we have with Dan Ingham. We're putting him in that chair, right? Yes, we are. The Pete Sousa Show will continue with Dan Ingham. We're going to take it to the bank. First National Bank of Central Texas is in the house. We'll be talking about the bank, talking to Dan about college football. By the way, his Pokes, they're like a 27-point underdog this week. Wow. We'll talk a little bit about the Big 12 and also some high school football, KWTX. So the Pete Sousa Show rolls on after this with Dan Ingham.
Overwhelmed by your inbox? Clean Email is here to help. Organize, clean, and manage your emails with powerful automation tools. Say goodbye to spam and clutter and enjoy a stress-free inbox. Try Clean Email today at cleanemail.com. That's CLEAN email.com. Cleanse your body of accumulated toxins and embark on your wellness journey at your own pace. At Global Healing, we provide premium supplements to help your body heal naturally. Combine that with OrganicHemp.com's top-quality CBD for ultimate balance. Start your healing journey today at GlobalHealing.com and OrganicHemp.com. Unlock a world of convenience with Mully Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. At Toussaint's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Toussaint's.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com. BizChair.com. Your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, we've got your team's colors running through our veins. From official replica kits to custom player prints of your favorite stars like Ronaldo, Messi, and Kane, Kit Bag is your one-stop shop for all things football. Powered by Fanatics, we deliver to over 180 countries, ensuring you get the gear you need fast. For true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kit Bag.
Here we are. Take it to the bank with Dan Ingham, First National Bank of Central Texas. Dan is back, and he comes bearing gifts, by the way.
Well, come on now. I got to take care of you, Scotty. You guys deserve a nice Yeti mug to drink out of with the beautiful 1ST logo. So,
I mean, by the way, it is great to have you back because, first of all, it means our partnership continues with First National Bank of Central Texas, and it also means it's fall. We get to see you. We're talking about college football and the NFL. Start off with the bank. Like what's going on over at First National Bank of Central Texas? Give us a little bit of insight.
Yeah, we just continue to grow. You and I were chatting a little bit. We have a new branch opening up in College Station. Should open up first quarter of 2026. Don't want to lock it down, but big old facility, 3-story building right there on Highway 6 in College Station. That's a great market. And we've been in that market just in a much smaller location. We're excited about that. We've seen a lot of growth in Waco. And, I think we talked about last year. We try to give out a free gift when you open up a checking account. Right now, you get an awesome flashlight that you open it up. It's got like a toolkit inside. So
nice.
I don't know. It's that stuff. They've been doing it since like the 50s.
Yeah, I like that.
Open an account, get a toaster. Yeah. Now you get a cool flashlight, like a lantern with cool stuff inside when you open up a checking account. So.
By the way, that Dan's made it. When we used to talk about first quarter, he'd be talking about like a football game. Yes. Now he's talking about, what is that? Like
I've gone corporate.
Yeah, yes. The corporate business calendar, right? So when would first quarter be, Dan?
That my guess is late January, something like that.
Okay.
But I can't, construction goes on its own timeline sometimes. So,
well, dude, it's great to have you back. I got to get your thoughts on, because you are, I mean, for people who don't know, you have it in your DNA. You're a long time sports, TV news guy. And college and high school football. You're calling games again this year for KWTX, some of the best high school games in the area. When's your first game?
Next Thursday night, it's Killeen at Lake Belton. So that'll be our first game a week from tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. And those games are on the CW, and you can always get them live on KWTX.com.
Those are a lot of fun. We're doing 6 games this year.
Yeah, those are, I miss those big time. Those are, I moved away from KWTX and, I wasn't invited back. I would have.
They kept on asking me. I don't know what's going on.
I mean,
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? But I do miss that.
We had a lot of fun together, man.
We had a blast, and it's always fun working with Royden too. And I know that's who you'll be paired with again this year. Royden's the best, so that's going to be an exciting season for high school football. And that is, moves me into my college football question for you. Baylor, Auburn. What are your thoughts? What did you learn about the Bears in that game? And how does that affect the way that you view this team right now?
Well, I guess ultimately anytime you lose, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because it was a winnable game against an SEC team. And so when you have that opportunity, you don't do it. That's disappointing. That's all there is to it. Does it end their season? No. I mean, they started off really poor last year and ended up winning a bunch of games at the end. So by no means is it over. But it's disappointing that, specifically the defense, they kind of let them down a little bit in terms of being able to stop that QB run. And granted, Baylor wasn't ready for it. Didn't seem like, but the adjustments weren't there, or at least anything that I'm sure there were adjustments, but they weren't able to stop it. And so, and that was a big difference in the game. So the defense was a little disappointing. You may not play a quarterback that dynamic all year again. Who knows? But I think you will. There's several good quarterbacks. In fact, they're playing a good one next week. So they're going to have to figure that out. But I don't think it's like sound the panic alarm kind of thing if you're a Baylor fan. It's just disappointing,
Take people inside like this game. I'm curious to see what you'll think about this. Like, will Baylor's fans travel very well? Do you feel like they will sort of carve out a nice chunk of real estate in that, what is it, Gerald Ford Stadium, at SMU? What are your thoughts on that, the whole vibe around a game like this? Because I have no idea.
So I haven't been up there since when Baylor last played there, when I would cover, SMU wasn't any good. And so tickets were not really a challenge. I would assume they're a hotter ticket now than they used to be at SMU.
You love how he said tickets were not a challenge.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, walk up, buy them for $15. It's just the reality. Yeah. So, but in those instances, there'd be a good chunk of Baylor fans, not necessarily for the traveling up there, just because it's in Dallas, and there's a ton of Baylor alums in Dallas. So, will you see a good contingent of green and gold? I'd be shocked if you don't.
Do you think Baylor will be able to bounce back from that loss against Auburn? We had Craig James on before you, and he said, hey, the one thing about, SMU really doesn't have a grasp on their team right now, but Baylor does. They played a Power 4 opponent and an SEC opponent. So that's got to contribute a little bit to the game planning and being prepared for this week.
Yeah, I heard you and Scotty talking about this, and I agree. I mean, there's something to be said for being punched in the mouth. It's not fun, but it teaches you how to get up a little bit. So typically under Dave Aranda, his teams have responded pretty well after a tough loss. There was, the COVID year was,
that's a good call though.
They were just bad, but typically, does that mean? But the reality is that doesn't mean you're going to win, because you're not playing Little Sisters of the Poor. You're playing SMU, a team who was in the playoff last year. So you can't sit here and say, oh, they're for sure going to win because they're going to bounce back. But will they be competitive? Will they play much better? I'd be really surprised if they don't.
Why do we always still say Little Sisters of the Poor? I was literally in luck. I said it in my head before you said it.
And that's like going back to high school. I remember my high school basketball coach saying that this isn't Little Sisters of the Poor you're playing, And
they must have had some terrible teams.
That seems like a really inappropriate matchup if we did play the Little Sisters of the Poor. That seems like a bad matchup. Yeah.
Well, what's a bad matchup this week is Oregon and Oklahoma State. I need your recent memory, dude. Yeah. Has there ever been, I think it's 26, 27 points. Do you remember Oklahoma State being an underdog like this recently?
I mean, not in the modern era. I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, maybe an OU game 15, 20 years ago, but no. I mean, I would go out on a limb and say, I wish I had looked that up. And that's why it was so jarring to see. And it's just kind of humbling, because OSU's, except for last year, has been pretty solid over the last 2 decades. And just to see we're like, were kind of thought of as like an afterthought against Oregon. Granted, Oregon's really good, but
Yeah.
OSU's had teams that belonged on the same field.
2 years
as
ago,
Oregon.
this would have been the game of the week.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just kind of, like it's sad that my goal is like, all right, just don't embarrass yourselves. You know what I mean, like, and keep the quarterback healthy. Yeah.
What is your overall thought process as a fan around Oklahoma State right now? You know, I was asked before the start of the season, I was like, yeah, I believe in Mike Gundy. I almost felt like he was like the one real shot that Oklahoma State had, you know, that they could rally around him and he could bring the guys in. But I don't know. It's, you know, they're 1-0. I mean, let's be real. They're 1-0, not impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a ho-hum win. But they won. I mean,
But I mean, okay, so they're a 30-point dog. They haven't played the game yet. Like, tell me why I should believe in Oklahoma State a little bit.
So the defense seems to have some actual dudes. We were talking about, like, you got to have some dudes. They spent a lot more money on defense this year, and hopefully it'll show. It may not matter against Oregon. So the reality is you might play great and just hold them to 35 points instead of 50, you know what I mean? And then I don't know the offense can score 35, but there's some dudes on defense. It might be the best defense they've had in 2 or 3 years. Offense makes you nervous because they had a starting quarterback, kid named Haas Haney from Aledo.
Yeah.
Mike Gundy says the fastest quarterback he's ever had. First quarter, breaks his foot. And like he had thrown for a touchdown, run for a touchdown already. And it was like, oh, this is our guy. And then broken foot. And so that could be, feet are tricky. I mean, you've been around sports. It could be 2 weeks. It could be 8 because the feet they heal when they heal.
Yeah.
So that stinks. They got a good kid, Zane Flores, but they only have like no one else behind that. So they got to keep him healthy. What's sad is he can run a little bit, but you're not going to see him run the ball a lot, especially against Oregon, because you cannot afford to get him hurt. So back to your question, reason for hope. They've recruited better. They finally entered the 21st century and decided to pay, run the transfer portal. In the past, Mike Gundy just gave all the money to the current players, and he thought that way you should do it. And that was not a good idea, as you saw last year. And so they went out and bought a team this year, but it's like 60 new players. So might they get better as the year goes on? Probably. As a fan, I used to always be like, all right, let's play for a Big 12 title. This year, I'm just like, all right, get back to a bowl game and get back to respectability. And I think that's a realistic goal for this team.
What's the vibe like around Mike Gundy? Like how much time do you think he has left?
More than most.
Okay.
Just because he's got that body of work. He's but ask Patterson about that at TCU. It doesn't always work out too. People get restless. Mike Gundy was a star quarterback at OSU. That probably helps too. I mean, he is like, no one's been a part of more wins of OSU football than him, like ever in the history of before him. I think OSU had like 3 10-win seasons and he's at like 6 or 7. So firing that guy is probably going to be pretty hard. But I think he'll coach another 3 or 4 years. I don't see him as a guy who coaches till he's in his 70s, that kind of guy.
All right, so let's turn the page to the NFL. Give me your Cowboys check-in right now. I mean, tomorrow night we've got NFL football, dude.
I'm kind of excited, man.
I'm beyond excited, but the Cowboys. Jerry Jones on Good Morning America this morning talking about Micah Parsons. It's like it's just like,
what did he say?
Yeah, he basically was like, we made a deal. Basically, he talked about how much he wanted to pay him and how they were going to take really good care of him. But, he just got a chance to really filibuster about the Cowboys for 5 minutes, 6 minutes on national television. Yeah. I mean, the guy is a genius.
Yeah.
Just when it comes to running a football team, a football operation, it doesn't look that way. But as a fan, I know you are. Where are you with this team?
I don't know. Like, so the Micah Parsons deal, like,
I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, because I think, like, you take away the year before, like, I think they had 3 straight, like 10 or 11, maybe a 12-win season. I've been in the playoffs under McCarthy.
They had most
when Dak is healthy, they're pretty good. And so I still think they could be pretty good. I mean, like, the thought of trading a top 5 player, it hurts. That really stinks. Like, I get that and I think they got a little in return. It wasn't like like they didn't.
No, they didn't.
They didn't get fleeced. Yeah. I don't know, but man, I think like Green Bay's Super Bowl odds went up significantly when they added him. That tells you not many players move the needle like that. So man, you got to find a way to make it happen. That being said, you always hear this after the fact that he was a locker room issue. Well, maybe he was. I don't know, but I can deal with a locker room issue if he's Micah Parsons.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if he can wreak havoc. I heard Nick Saban talking about it, and he made a good point. Like, the reality is, quarterback impacts the game, and the guy who can get to the quarterback can impact the game. And those are the 2 most important people on your team, and those are the guys you give them the bag of money. And the Cowboys didn't, and it stinks. I get that there are reasons, and Micah may have handled it really poorly, but you still find a way to make it happen.
I agree. When you have a superstar of that elite quality, you kind of like Micah's baggage was not that bad.
Yeah, as baggage goes. I mean, it wasn't like he was in a police blotter. I mean, come on. Yeah.
No, he's just a little bit different. All right. Before we let you go, I need to get your Take It to the Bank pick for this week. And I have no idea who Dan's going to pick or what game. He's got the run of the place. He just can't do high school because otherwise they'll take us both to jail.
Yeah, we don't need to be doing that.
So we're going to do either college.
I knew some people who used to do that. I used to go eat at a restaurant here in town. I'd be like, oh boy. They'd be like, hey Dan, what do you know about Johnny Sousa's team? That's an old flashback if you know John, old Waco High coach back in the day. And I'd be like, I'm not a part of this. Thanks. All right, so I'm going border war, Kansas, Mizzou. First time they've played since 2011. It's a shame they haven't played that long, but it's great to see them play again. This one's at Missouri. So Missouri is a 6.5-point favorite. I like Kansas in this one and the points. I think Kansas is sneaky good this year. They whooped up on a traditionally pretty solid Fresno State team. Their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, all he did was throw for 7 touchdowns, complete 80% of his passes, 1 interception. So I would actually take Kansas in the money line, but I'll go ahead and take the points here. Kansas,
I like that one. Yeah.
That's right. Kansas plus 6.5 and take it to the bank. I like the Jayhawks in this one.
Do you like how Scotty gives you like the Stephen A. Smith treatment? He just pulls out. It's just you talking to the camera. You know, that is like emphatic.
That's right. Yeah. Listen up, Cowboys fans. You know,
All right. So let's do this. We're going to do this every Wednesday at 11 o'clock. All right.
I love it.
We're locked in. We're taking it to the bank. So now we got Kansas plus the points. We're going to do one this year, so it'll be easy for us to remember. We'll be in charge of it.
We showed our age last year. We would struggle to remember occasionally. Yeah.
Hey, we were just getting off the ground.
Yeah.
But you helped us get off the ground. First National Bank.
I'm proud to be part. I'm proud of what you and Scotty and everybody here are doing, man.
It's great stuff, man. Thanks, Dan Ingham, First National Bank of Central Texas, taking it to the bank. We will take a break and come back and wrap up the Pete Sousa Show after this.
Dive into adventure with scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness, brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
Get paid faster with Bill, the easiest way to send, receive, and manage your payments. No more delays, no more hassle. Whether you're a freelancer or a business, Bill makes payments seamless and secure, simple, fast, and reliable. Sign up today at Bill.com.
All right, the Pete Sousa Show, rocking and rolling. Cannot forget about another one of our new partners, Underdog Fantasy. Football's back, dude, and Underdog is the best place to make your picks and win money all season long. You know the deal. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether – let me start over again. This is a work in progress here. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And you get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. We're going to make our picks tomorrow. So we will be doing our Underdog fantasy picks, which I can't wait. We just had Dan on here. I'll take it to the bank. By the way, that was my bet of the weekend. I'm starting to worry about this now because now more people are on it. Kansas plus 6.5 against Missouri. I think that there is a real opportunity for Kansas in that game. By the way, there are 5 marquee games for the Big 12 this week. I will read them off for you so we have them here because these are the kind of games, because this goes back to Baylor, right? These are the kind of games that Brad Yormark said that the Big 12 has to win. Right. So, and the Big 12 is favored in 3 of these 5 games. Okay. So let's listen here. Iowa at Iowa State. Iowa State's a 3-point favorite. I think that's big noon kickoff. That's Saturday at noon on Fox. Baylor SMU, of course. That's by the way, it's on the CW. So that game kicks off at 11 local, noon Eastern time. SMU a 3-point favorite. We just talked about Kansas at Missouri. That's 3:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. Kansas, a 6.5-point underdog. Arizona State and Mississippi State. Arizona State just favored by 6.5. 7:30 Eastern time on ESPN2. That game has so much trap written all over it that I think that actually Arizona State will surge beyond the trap game style of it, and I think they just might beat them down like they stole something.
Me too.
At the end of the day, Mississippi State's not good. I mean, let's not. They were locked in a fist fight with Southern Miss last week for a little while. And then another team who has fallen pretty far, Stanford on the road at BYU. BYU's a 19-point favorite in that. So some really big Power 4 matchups for the Big 12 this week. And in those 5 games I just mentioned, the Big 12's favored in 3 of them. So you would hope somebody like me, at least, that's a Big 12 guy, that the conference can handle their business. But we're going to handle our business now. We're going to take off. It was a great show. Thanks to Craig James. Thanks to Dan Ingham. Thanks to Scotty Swingler. Thanks to Chris Visser. We're rocking and rolling here at the Pete Sousa Show. Like and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with another live show from Central Texas. Friday show, we will be in Orlando, so we'll do it from there. Yeah, we're rocking and rolling. We'll be back tomorrow. The Pete Sousa Show, presented by Slovacics. Thank you so much for watching.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at 70 miles an hour. I was injured, had a concussion. The insurance company, they delayed. They were playing games from the initial conversation. They weren't going to help me. The biggest thing I learned through this is that you can't go through this alone. I called Daniel Stark. They were going to help me and everything was going to be all right. Daniel Stark got me 10 times the insurance company offered.
The difference is stark.
We are Rogue Media Sports.